Hey guys, we are back with some more Edmonton Oilers franchise mode, and we are here in the offseason of year number 5, and we're getting to the draft because we have been eliminated by the LA Kings, and it looks like they're in the Stanley Cup final with the Buffalo Sabres, so we'll see what happens here, and it is indeed the LA Kings who have won the Stanley Cup. So we once again get eliminated by the Stanley Cup champions. I believe that actually happened last year to us. And that happened to the Wolfsburg GM mode not too long ago as well. So we need to have a plan for this offseason, and I think the plan is to trade any underwhelming players, mainly veterans who, you know, are getting paid quite a bit. A good example of this is Gustav Nyquist. He underachieved a lot this season. I think he only had, his point totals was in the 20s from the regular season. And he got moved down to the third line, I believe, and he's just not worth what we're paying him. So we're going to be looking to move him. And what this team really needs is an elite power forward. Now, obviously, we have the opportunity to draft one in Jerry Teal, but that was the Byram draft. And at the time, we needed a defenseman more. And to be honest, we still need Bowen Byram. He's still got plenty of growth to go. So I do not regret taking Bowen Byram at all. But we do, that being said, need an elite power forward, because when you take a look at our forward core, which we can't do right now because we're in the retirements, but it consists of, the top 6 anyway, consists of Gino, McDavid, Marner, Draisaitl, Nuge, and Puljujarvi. None of those guys are really dedicated power forwards. You could argue that Draisaitl might be in terms of how he plays. But other than maybe Draisaitl, none of them are really true power forwards, and even Draisaitl is debatable because his takeaway to giveaway ratio isn't great. It wasn't great this past season. As we take a look at Draisaitl, and hopefully the game doesn't glitch out here. He was on a good pace. He only played 53 games. He had that huge injury. He had 46 points, so he was a good point scorer there. He had 83 hits, so gets a lot of hits, but his ratio was not good at all. 20 to 38 were takeaways to giveaways, and a true power forward, at least for me, needs to have a great takeaway to giveaway ratio at all times, and normally Draisaitl actually has had good takeaway to giveaway ratios, 61 to 50 last year, and then 68 to 41, 69 to 46, 70 to 43 in year number 1. But I don't think that's enough. That's not quite enough, as we've seen by our lack of success in the playoffs. And I believe if we get ourselves an elite power forward, then that will make us a much more threatening team in the playoffs, because this team right now is built for the regular season. Not so much the playoffs, as we have seen. So we're here in the draft, and we're going to try to make a trade here. Now, I don't have a trade planned, but what I do know is that we do need to make a trade for an elite power forward, so we're going to see if there's one on the market. Now, we're just going to go through every team here. We're obviously not trading for the first overall pick. That would be, we probably do have the value for that at this point. Like, we could probably trade someone like Sarenheimo and then Rodin and just, cheese it up for the first overall pick. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to look for a legitimate NHLer who can just slot right into our top 6 as a great power forward for us. Now, I don't think we're getting Landeskog just because Anaheim doesn't want to trade him away. He's got 5 years left on his deal. So the 5 years isn't exactly pretty either. And he's just going to be overall hard to trade for. So I'm going to say no to that. We're just going to look at skaters matching block. So Arizona, no one. Boston, Krug and Haula, doesn't fit the bill. Buffalo, no one. Calgary, Lindholm, Hamonic and Jankowski. Carolina, no one. Chicago, no one. So here's an interesting one. Ryan O'Reilly is on the block, and he has actually... Oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say, O'Reilly is on the block, and if we could have him for like maybe 1 or 2 years, that'd be good, but 6-year deal for O'Reilly, yikes. That would have been a really nice one if he didn't have that 6-year extension. Yeah, because that takes him till he's 38. You hate to see it. All right, so other than O'Reilly, there's no one on the block who I'm interested in. So I think we'll wait until free agency for this. We don't have to make this trade now. We can wait until the free agency if we have to. I just wanted to see if there was anyone available now so that we can get this sorted out before free agency, just so that we know what we're working with going into the re-sign stage. But since I can't find anything that any team definitely wants to trade, we'll just let the draft play out, and we're going to see what's available to us in free agency, and we'll go from there. So we'll sim to our pick, and we're picking 27th. So I think the player that I had my eye on was already taken. I think he was ranked 15th. There was a medium elite that I wanted, but yeah, obviously our pick is pretty late here. So all the guys that I have pinned here are guys who have at least one A in their attribute grades. So this guy, Sean Johnston, has an A- in shooting. And Jerry Lampkin, he's only a top 9, but he has an A- for shooting as well. But here we obviously are going to draft for value with this first round pick. So let's sort by potential. There's still 2 medium elites. There's Frazee, and of course they're both goaltenders. Frazee and Furchner. So they're both gems. We could get Furchner much later. So I guess since Frazee is going 35 anyway, this is around the time where he would be taken. If there's nobody else, then we'll take Frazee for sure. But let's keep looking a little bit. There's also Sim, who might be a medium elite, but we're not entirely sure. So I don't want to take a chance on him with our first round pick. There's some low elites here. There's Louis Turris, who I think I would rather take the medium elite goaltender. And all these guys are going much later, so we don't even have to worry about these low elites for right now. There's some medium top 6 forwards. Johnston, who we saw already. He's got that A- for shooting. But then again, we already have so many winger prospects. We have Wisniewski, who came in this year. We have Sumal. We have, who else? There's that one power forward who we drafted last year, who was also, I believe, in the AHL this year. I can't remember his name, but I know for a fact we have a lot of sniper winger prospects, so I don't think Johnston would be my first choice. Nicholas Arvidsson, center, 2-way forward. All right, we're running out of time here, so I think just because of the value, we got to go with that medium elite goaltender in Frazee here. Welcome to the Edmonton Oilers, Dalton Frazee. And of course, 59 overall, so he's going to take his time. But remember, what we do have in goal is the guy who we drafted, I believe, a couple of years ago now, is Weston Barron. He's already a 74 overall at 19 years of age. So definitely looking forward to the growth of Weston Barron, seeing how he does. We drafted him in 2021. So yeah, 2 years ago. Had a pretty good season this year wherever he was. He's a 74 overall now. So hopefully by the start of next year, he'll at least be able to be an elite AHL goaltender. And hopefully by the end of this upcoming year, he'll be ready to make the jump to the NHL. So simming to the next pick. Let's see where we're at. We're late in the second round. And we have Malak. And there's Sim. So Edgar Sim still available. Do we take a chance on him here? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We'll see what else is available. There's always Furchner, but again, he's going much, much later. 188 to be specific. We don't have to worry about him till at least the 6th round. There is Comiskey. There's all these guys, but they're, once again, going very late. So we don't have to worry about them at the moment. Unless, of course, they're the best options, but I wouldn't say so, considering there's a medium elite goaltender available, and there's also that defenseman who might be a medium elite. So there's this guy who I didn't actually pin. He must have gotten scouted by the scout after I pinned all those players. He has an A- for shooting, so there's another shooting winger, of course, but he is going 67, so that low top 6 sniper, Ackerland, might not be a bad idea at this point in the draft. Haley. Now, do we want to take someone like him over a defenseman who might be a medium elite? I think, honestly, I would rather take my chances with that medium elite defenseman, considering the amount of value he could have. Yeah. I mean, the bunch of low top 6s right here. And Houghtonen was another one who I was pretty interested in. He's, once again, got the A- for shooting. So effectively like every other winger who we've seen pinned so far. But still, he's maybe someone who we could steal later on. And oh my goodness, someone going 854 who is a low top 6 in Maxim Kulemin. All right, so I think we've seen all we need to see at this point. There is a couple of defensemen here, but they're going much later as well, 130 and 156. So I think I know what I'm going for here, and that would be we're going to take a chance on Edgar Sim. Welcome to the Edmonton Oilers. So with our third here, we have Hautanen still available. And if we sort by potential, of course, there's going to be that goaltender. And no more 3-bar medium elites, so I'm not going to take any chances on the 2-bar medium elites. That's a little too much of a risk. Then there's, of course, all the low elites. There's Kutta, the medium top 6 forward. I think I'd rather take a low elite, to be honest. Yeah, some of these low elites have good grades. Specifically Primu and Comiskey, who I obviously already have pinned. Then there's Lindbergh and Kolosov, who are medium top 4 defensemen. You know what? I really like Jyrki Hautanen right here, so we're going to take him with our 3rd round pick. Welcome to the Edmonton Oilers, Hautanen. 64 overall, pretty solid. I think that's the highest overall we have so far in this draft. I'm going to round number 4 now, and at this point, we may as well just start taking the players based off of trade value, because everyone at this point who that I'm even remotely interested in is going very, very late anyway. I think we'll just start taking by value here. So, Thomas Ferkner, welcome to the Edmonton Oilers. 60 over, really? Okay. So I like this guy for our 5th round pick, Stu Comiskey. He's a gem, low elite defensive defenseman. We've had him pinned, and he's got that A- for shooting and A for physicality, B for defense as well, B for puck skills. So he's pretty far along in his development already as a defensive defenseman. I really like that. So let's get him on board. Welcome to Edmonton, Stu Comiskey. 71 overall. Wow, what a steal in the 5th round. 6th round coming up, and obviously I think it's just going to be another low elite here. There's Vyacheslav Wisniewski, so another Wisniewski should we get him. B- for puck skills. He's a right winger. Maybe. Kelvin Primu, I really like his physicality. Other than the physical category, though, he doesn't have much. 6'3" right winger, size and strength, and physical player. His strengths. Yeah, we'll take Wisniewski. He's the gem. He's supposed to go before Primu anyway, and we could always take Primu with the next pick. So welcome aboard, Vyacheslav Wisniewski. We now have 2 Wisniewskis in the organization. No, I was talking about power forwards. Kelvin Primu is a power forward anyway. Let's take him with our 7th round pick. Welcome to Edmonton, 60 overall. There you go. There is the draft. Welcome to Edmonton, Frazee, Sim, Hautanen, Ferkner, Comiskey, Wisniewski, and Primu. So here in the re-sign stage, let's start out with forward UFAs. Marody, he wants to re-sign. Does he want a 2-way deal? Yes, he does. We will sign him to that. Sorensen, what do you want? He wants a 2-way deal as well. All right, I will sign Sorensen. I was questioning whether I was going to re-sign Sorensen or not, but because he wants that 2-way deal, absolutely. Cizikas, now what do you want? You want a 1-way deal? I'm going to release Cizikas. He wasn't great last year, considering what his job is as a 4th liner. He did okay for point scoring, but he wasn't great with the faceoffs, 46.5. We need him to win those faceoffs more often than not. Only 61 hits, and I guess that's good. That's a hit per game, but his takeaway to giveaway ratio wasn't exactly great either. So I'm sure we can find an upgrade from Cizikas. Let's release him. Now, Gino was fantastic for us. He, I believe, had 50 points this past season. Yeah, 53. So if we could bring him back for, I would say, less than $4 million, that'd be a good deal for Gino. Now, it's a matter of what does he want. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, I will absolutely do this for Gino. He wants 2.87. We'll give him 2. And we'll see if we go down to 2.6 for Gino. That would be a steal for Gino if he can keep playing the way he did last year for us. Absolutely. Now, defenseman. Lagesson, does he want a 2-way deal? Yes, he does. We could probably find a better replacement, though. Morrow, do you want a 2-way deal? Yes, you do. So since we signed Morrow to a 2-way deal, I think I'll release Lagesson, And Carrick. What do you want? 2.3 for 2 years. He's an 81 overall. Where does he fit on our defensive depth chart? I think he would be our 7th defenseman, right? Yeah, he was our backup defenseman last year. I'd like to hold on to him, but considering that he's only our 7th defenseman, I'll wait on him to see how much cap we have remaining. Goaltenders, there's Barron and Stasiak, definitely signing both of those guys. Get on the team, and welcome to the team, Weston Barron. So now RFAs, Skinner and Wells. I don't think we need Wells. Does he want a two-way deal? No, he doesn't. So yeah, definitely not. Releasing you. And Skinner, 1.45. That's pretty fair. I'll give you 1.4 for 1 year. Defenseman RFA, Samurkov. Do you want a two-way deal? Yes, you do. And forwards, you got Yamamoto and Wisniewski. Both are an 80 overall. So Yamamoto actually went down in overall from this past year. He was an 81 during the year. Now an 80. Yeah, Yamamoto's growth hasn't been fantastic. We can all agree on that. Yeah, over the past 3 seasons in the NHL, he hasn't really progressed much in terms of his point scoring. 25, 32, 27. He's not much of a shooter. He's pretty good defensively. 40 to 35 are the takeaways to giveaways. Not much of a hitter. We do need more physicality in that bottom 6. So I'm not going to do anything right now regarding Yamamoto, at least in terms of a roster move. But we should seriously consider maybe looking for somebody else to fill that wing spot that Kalluri Yamamoto currently has, because it seems like it's not working out for him here. I mean, maybe you guys think differently, but considering the lack of success that we've had in the playoffs, maybe we'll look for a little change at the bottom 6. Maybe we look to, obviously, we're still looking for that elite power forward. If it comes down to it, and if a team wants Yamamoto in a trade, especially if it's for that elite power forward, then I wouldn't be opposed to giving up Yamamoto at this point. Wisniewski, I definitely want to bring him back. He saw some decent growth last year. He started, I believe, as a 78. Now he's up to an 80. So that does give me a little bit of hope for Wisniewski. Maybe he can become like an 83, 84, but that's looking a little bit too far in the future, and I don't know why I backed out. So we will re-sign Wisniewski, and we'll re-sign Yamamoto as well, obviously. It's just, I was going on a little bit of a tangent about Yamamoto's development so far, or lack of development. So yeah, I guess a 1-year deal is the way to go for Wisniewski. How many years has he played so far professionally? Only 3? Yeah, 1-year deal's fine. What does he want on a 2-year deal? 1.25. Yeah, we'll give him a 1-year deal. Now Yamamoto. How many years has he played so far? I know he's not as off as... Yeah, this is not his entry level. He just came off of a 2-year deal, so I believe this will be the last time that he's an RFA. So we really have to be smart about this. He wants a 1-year deal at 1.4. What if I take him up? Yeah, he's... just based off his salary, it doesn't look like he's going to grow too much more. So I definitely am not going to offer him any more than 2 years. And I think, honestly, we'll just go 1 year. Yeah, 1 year at 1.4. It looks like it's going to be the best situation for Yamamoto. And there's Morrow. Gino is back. Sorensen rejected. Skinner accepted. Yamamoto accepted. Marody. Barron. Samurkov. Wisniewski. Stasiak. And there you go. So the only one who rejected, I believe, was Sorensen. You know what? We're going to release Carrick for right now, because if there is an elite power forward in free agency, I think we definitely need to seriously consider going after him, considering it's one of our biggest needs. So Carrick, I'll release it for right now. And same thing for Sorensen, since he said no to that original contract offer, and I don't want to really negotiate with him. So I believe that is it. UFAs, RFAs, yep, we're all good. So unfortunately, as we take a look, there's not really any elite power forwards here in free agency. None that catch my eye anyway. There's Kane, there's Wenberg, there's Huberdeau, there's Hintz, Kadri, Pacioretty. Then it drops down to Schmaltz, Hinostroza, Miller, Patan. None of those guys really fit what we're looking for, and none of the player types. The player type isn't even power forward, so I'm looking for a pure power forward here, who's always going to be a physical presence on the ice and just grind down other teams and get us the puck, feed it on front of the net, do that kind of thing. So we're going to look and see if the trade blocks are any different. All right, so there's nothing on the trade block that's any different from what we saw during the drafts. Of course, Ryan O'Reilly's still there, but that 6-year contract, oh, that's ugly. If that was like maybe cut in half, if that was a 3-year contract, I'd be much more willing to trade for Ryan O'Reilly. But 6 years, that's kind of rough. That is rough. What would it even take to trade for him? It'd probably be along the lines of Sarenheimo. Okay, so Sim it looks like he is a medium elite because he's got that trade value all the way up there. All right, that's good. That's good to know. Glad we took a shot at him. It would probably be along the lines of Sarenheimo or Sim, plus a goaltender prospect in either Frazee, Ferkner, or Barron, which I'm not trading Barron. That's a lot of trade value for an aging veteran who is not on a good contract. Yeah, he's still a very good player, but that contract scares me. Okay, so I was browsing around the league, not even just the trade block, just the league in general, and one player who really stood out to me is Timo Meier, because he's on the Sharks, who are getting to be an old team now, and it looks like they're moving, inching closer towards their rebuilding stage, and Meier is currently tied for the best overall forward on their team. And when you look at their defensive core, they got Carlson, of course, who's 33 years of age, and everyone after him isn't as great. And then their goaltender, Jones, he's 33. And all these guys on some one-year deals here. So you got to think that if they get the right package back for Timo Meier, that they'd be willing to move him, especially if it was in the form of prospects and picks, going back the other way. Yeah, you know what? I really want this Timo Meier deal. I feel like he'll slot in really well into that top six. He'll mesh really well. He's got each of the past 4 seasons with at least 44 points. But what really sells it for me is how physical he is and how good that takeaway to giveaway ratio is. 65 to 38 last year, 61 to 37 the year before, 57 to 40, 63 to 43, and then 52 to 45 in year number 1. So he is just Mr. Consistency when it comes to physicality and defense. And the playoffs, let's see his numbers there. Let's see. So 39 hits in 10 games played, but that was actually in real life. So here's another reason why the San Jose Sharks might be looking to move on from someone like Timo Meier, especially if they got young guys, a young package in return. They have yet to be in the playoffs in this GM mode. So I think this is a solid trade. Even though Meier technically is not on the block, it would make sense why the Sharks might want to move him. And going back the other way will be Sumal, Siffers, and a second-round pick. They want all of them. And, of course, they don't want to give up Meier, but you know what? Again, it makes sense. And Sumal, we already have right wingers in Wisniewski, who he looks like he's going to be a pretty good player. He saw some pretty good growth last year, going from a 78 to an 80. So that gives me some hope for him. And Sumal is just really not needed. And as for Siffers, he's got that 77 offensive awareness, so I don't really have a problem trading him away. I'm not sure how much more that's going to grow. He's a 68 overall at the moment. But when you take a look at our defensive core currently, at least when it comes to offensive defensemen, you have Barry, you have Klefbom, you have Merkley. So I don't think Siffers is needed at the moment. And then there's also the sweetener in that second-round pick. So Sumal, Siffers, and a second from Meier. And Sumal, obviously, he's a top 6 potential forward. So you're getting a pretty good guy there. And then Siffers, that top 4 potential defenseman who could turn into something for you. But we really, really need some help forward-wise right now, at least in terms of needing a power forward on the top 6, and Meier fits that bill perfectly. Proposed trade accepted. Not too much to deliberate on this deal. I wanted to make sure that San Jose was getting a good deal in return for Timo Meier, who's only 26 years of age, and obviously they could have kept Meier and have him still be good by the time that they're good again, but when you consider their situation, it just kind of makes sense for both teams. So there you go, trade accepted. And welcome to the Edmonton Oilers, Timo Meier. Now we got to see if we can extend Timo Meier. If we can't, that's going to be a problem. Okay, we can't. Let's see. How much does he want anyway? 5.8. That might be doable. Now, I think I do want to offer him now, because that no doesn't usually change to a yes. So, considering we already have a good amount of data on him, and that he is a very consistent, good defensive and physical player, I want to try to extend him right now. If we get him on a 4-year deal, well, hold on, let's plan this out a little bit. Where are most of our contracts expiring? That'd be McDavid, Clefbaum, Nuge. What about this year? That's Marner. There's Puljujarvi, and then not much after that. So I think the way to go for Meier would be a 3-year extension, because that'd be 1, 2, 3, and this is the deal. This is the year for Clefbaum, Nuge, and McDavid's contracts. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, 3 years is good for Timo Meier, because then we'll have him for not only this year, but then the 3 years after that. So that's technically 4 years that we'll have Timo Meier. So yeah, 3 years is good for him. I just hope he accepts it. Let's see if we can get him at. I would pay $6 million for Timo Meier for sure. $6 million for an additional 3 years. That'll take him until he's 30. Because he's 26 right now. He's got 1 year left on his current deal. Yeah, that'll take him until he's 30. Let's see if he accepts that. And now the next thing that we need to do, we need to get Gus Nyquist out of here. Because there's just, now that we have Nyquist, and since we re-signed Gino, there's no room for him on this team anymore. And he really, as I mentioned, was not great last year. We'll take a look at his stats again here, but I'm pretty sure that he had less than 30 points, and he was on the second line for the majority of the year. As we take a look at, where is he? Nyquist. Yeah, 26 points, actually. Yeah, not a good year for Nyquist. We need to trade him somewhere. So a team that I think would appreciate the services of Nyquist is the Carolina Hurricanes. They are a contender, and they're looking to get back into the playoffs, and they have a lot of young kids. All their good players are young kids. Delmore, 22. Svechnikov, 23. Aho is not much of a kid anymore, 25. And then Natchez as well, 24. But all their good players are young players. So I think they would appreciate the veteran presence of Gustav Nyquist. Now, obviously, it's a little expensive. So I think I'm going to do Carolina a bit of a favor here. We're going to retain a little bit of Nyquist's salary. We're going to retain, I think, that much. Yeah, I'll take him to about $3 million. That looks reasonable. And it's not like that's hurting us too much anyway at the moment. And that'll only be for 1 year anyway. So it won't be too big of a deal, but it does add a little bit to the value of the trade. And I think the other way, we'll just take back some picks, to be honest. Because, let's see, in terms of forwards, we have McDavid, Puljujarvi, Draisaitl, Marner, Nuge, Meier, Gino, Anderson, that's 8. 9 is Dzingel. 10, 11, 12. We have 12 forwards, not including Nyquist. I would prefer, maybe if we could get a depth forward out of this trade, that'd be good as well. Actually, you know what we need? What we need is a center. A center for the fourth line, because I don't think Gino is going to be on the fourth line this year. I don't want Anderson on the fourth line either. He was actually very good last year. Anderson had, I believe, close to 40 points. Yeah, 20 goals. And then Nuge, and of course McDavid is not going to be anywhere near the fourth line. So, yeah, we need to get a fourth line center for sure. Actually, you know what? What am I thinking? We could just get a fourth line center and a depth defenseman out of free agency. Yeah, we'll just get the picks for Nyquist then. Because I think Radek Faksa might be a good one, as long as his ratios are pretty good. He didn't even play too much last year. Ratios weren't great the years before. All right, we'll keep looking. But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to find someone in free agency here. Maybe Chris Tierney. Oh, yeah, Chris Tierney. Yeah, maybe if we could get Tierney as our fourth line center. How much does he want? He only wants 2.4. Considering the salary we're about to unload in Nyquist, that's not bad. And just got to make sure that we can get a depth defenseman for pretty cheap. Yeah, I mean, they're not too hard to find. So, yeah, we'll definitely make this trade for picks. Can we sneak a first rounder in there for Nyquist? I don't think so. We'll try it anyway, but I don't think so. Yeah, no. Alright. Worth a shot. We'll see if we can get a second and a third, though. That might actually work. Yeah, I think that'll work, especially with the retained salary on Nyquist. Proposed trade? Alright. We're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe a second and a fourth. Proposed trade? There you go. So now that we have traded Nyquist, we can sign a couple of guys out of free agency. And I really like what I saw out of Chris Tierney, so we'll sign him. He wants 3 years at 2.4. I'll give him 2 years at, well, he doesn't have any offers yet, so maybe I can lowball him a little bit. I might just give him what he wants, minus the years. I'll take him down to 2 years for 2.4. We'll see if he accepts that. And as far as defensemen, yeah, sure, Dumoulin will be solid because he's a nice veteran back there, 31 years of age, only wants 1.3. I'm not going to give him 3 years, though. I'll give him 1 year. That takes him up to 1.9. 1 year at, let's see if we can go for 1.5, meet somewhere in the middle there. And there it is. Chris Tierney has accepted our offer, and Dumoulin rejected. And there's Meier. Let's go. Edler rejected. All right, so fair enough. I just wanted to see how much we could lowball. Let's go for Christian Jews. He only wants 1.5 for 2 years. And if we go down to 1 year, he wants even less. So that's good. We'll go down to 1.4 for Juice. Christian Juice rejected. He went to Montreal. All right. So losing out on all these defensemen here. At least we didn't lose out on Tierney. I would have been kind of upset if we lost out on Tierney, but we got him. There's John Moore, who I'm not going to get because he's costing a little too much there. But there's Hickett's, Wallinen. I'm not really liking our options here. Let's see if there's anyone available for trade here. So I really like Steven Santini on the New Jersey Devils. We're going to get him at 50% of his salary. That'll take him down to 1.01. And also a second round pick for Stasiak. Stasiak is outclassed at this point by numerous other prospect goaltenders such as Barron, Ferkner, and Frazee. So we're going to be trading him to New Jersey for Santini in a second. Will that do it? No, it will not. Okay, so they're not keen in keeping the amount of salary that we want them to. We'll take the salary retaining down to 33%. So Santini for 33% of his salary, and Vegas is second for Stasiak. Proposed trade. There you go. So now I think we are all set to move into next season. So goaltenders, there's Subban and Skinner. And in the system, of course, there's Barron. Defensively, Barry, Clefbaum, Byram, Larson, Merkley, Nurse, and Santini. Forwards, McDavid, Puljujarvi, Draisaitl, Marner, Meier, Nuge, Anderson, Malkin, Dzingel, Tierney, Vesey, Wisniewski, Yamamoto. Yeah, we look pretty set to start year number 6. But we're not going to do that in this video because it's already gone pretty long in the recording, so I'm going to end it off here. And you guys also going to let me know what you think of the moves that we have made so far, and if there's any other moves you guys think we should make before the season starts. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.